Hello Internet, I'm me, and this is the Gobusters review. Yeah, it took me a bit. But this episode, well, the reason I wasn't gonna do uh, what I did, well, let me just take it back for a minute. I was actually going to do this long, awesome, back in 2012 flashback of everything awesome that actually happened that I missed in the previous reviews, or previous episodes that I didn't review. And I was gonna do all these clips and download a lot of fucking video and edit it all together and painstakingly taking the most important parts of the episodes and putting them in a sequential order. But then when I thought about it, when I planned it out, Go Busters, Tokumei Sentai Go Busters, is the one that killed it. Why? Because in the last 7 episodes, it's kinda sorta pointless. Kinda sorta. In the last 7 episodes, uh, Enter gets killed, and then he doesn't. And then, of course, Messiah becomes whole. Kinda, sorta, but he doesn't. You'll see why I say that. And Escape dies, but she doesn't. And then Messiah becomes this giant robot, and they kill him, but he doesn't. And you're probably going, what do you mean, but he doesn't, but they don't? Here's the thing, they do this huge, amazing climactic battle, doing all this stuff, but it's not the final episode. None of it's the final episode. They lead up to this giant battle and do this giant battle, but it's not the final episode. Leading us to the 2013 episode, where first episode in 2013 where they do a happy New Year, and it's pretty much a useless episode. And you're gonna go, why is this one a useless episode? What does this one not have? Does it have unrest? No, it's because the Go Busters do nothing important. Enter does not show up. Escape does not show up. There is no Messiah cell that shows up. A Vargas Meteoroid shows up barely halfway through this episode, and Vargas henchmen show up but immediately get dispatched. And so does the Megazord that shows up. It just shows up and then they take it out almost immediately. Literally nothing happens. Okay, you want to hear the story. I've covered everything that happened in the last episodes pretty much, and that happened. And of course, this episode, it's like, all right, we've taken down Messiah and all of them, and there's not many of them left, and there's small remnants of them running around, and of the Vargas running around, and so they're all starting to take vacation. Pretty much, they're already like just taking vacation. Ryuji's hooked up with a woman and is going on a date, and Hiromu is meeting up with his sister, who's going to meet somebody in a cafe, which makes him nervous. And Hiromu and Yoko and Jin, also with and Jin, all go out and to the exact same restaurant, spying on Ryuji and Hiromu's sister as they are dating. And there's a reason I'm doing the air quotes too. And of course, this is all after a Vargas attack where a bunch of Vargas henchmen were messing around with Inter's iPad and attracted attention of the Go Busters. The Go Busters come in and kill most of them, except for two of them who are still freaking messing around with their iPad, and take a and do that whole cable thing to piece of mochi, which is the character design for this is literally a spray paint version of the eraser Metroid from way back when. It's literally the eraser Metroid, except for it's just colored different so that it's mochi. which is literally a rectangular shape. Everything, it's completely the same. And even the characters are like, huh, this has happened before, hasn't it? And literally, and you're like, oh, but the eraser one could, take away energy and do other shit like that. The mochi just makes people's shoes sticky. Literally, that's all it does. And of course, they're like, oh no, there was a Meteoroid energy, and there's going to be a Megazord coming. And they look around and don't see it because it's mochi. It's like about this big, and it sticks to Red Buster as they go back to the restaurant. As Beat and Stagglebuster go out to go take on the Meteoroid. Oh, I'm sorry, the Megazord that's coming in like 5 minutes. So it's like, while hijinks ensue while Ryuji is trying to have the perfect date, kinda like, oh, Hiromu and Yoko can't let Ryuji's date get ruined because, yeah, there's an attack, but we can't let Ryuji have a bad date or have him reschedule. Dear God. Uh, Even the fact that, like, oh, this is an arranged marriage, but the girl already has a boyfriend. Yeah, spoilers. So it's hilarious because it's just like nothing happens because they kill the Mochi monster like that, and they kill the Megazord like that. Hiromu's sister was just talking to a publisher over lunch and signing her contract. Ryuji was trying to go out with a woman who was trying to tell him that she already has a boyfriend, so it doesn't matter. And so literally the episode ends with Hiromu just kind of walking off, going, I should have wished for peace and quiet for my New Year's. I'm like, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And the thing is, the reason I say enter and escape aren't dead is because for the preview for the next episode, both of them show up. I'm like, you couldn't have left hints in this episode that Enter and Escape weren't dead, other than Escape's iPad. Okay, this episode literally had nothing to do with anything. It literally could just be taken out of the season, and you would have never fucking noticed. It's filler. It's 100% utter filler. It couldn't be more filler if it tried. It has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. Like, no character development either because no one does anything. Yuji doesn't is goes on a date he doesn't want to be on, and turns out he doesn't have to go on the date because she already has a boyfriend. Done. Hiromu's sister signs a contract with somebody. That doesn't affect anybody else. Jin doesn't get fixed up from hyperspace. Nothing happens. So yeah, no. I have to give this episode literally a 5 out of 10, which is by far my lowest rating because nothing fucking happened. I would give lower, but it's not a bad episode per se. It's just one where nothing happens, nothing was gained, nothing was lost. It literally was like the flat line of the season. And I know a lot of people are going to argue, oh, this whole season was a flat line, but I give this season a bit more credit than that, but like I mean, this one episode was just nothing. Like nothing happened. I'm like baffled by that. Like they did something big for Christmas. They did a lot of shit for the other days. But New Year's, nothing. They ain't got nothing. It's just weird and baffling. And that's literally all I have to say about Tokume Sentai Gobusters, including the last 7 episodes. If the last 7 episodes actually amounted to anything, like they did this huge buildup of the Messiah cells really starting to learn more about human anatomy and how we act and feel and attack and think, and from despair to hope and all this stuff, and built up to this big Messiah battle, and then it kind of gets destroyed because all the Messiah cards were there But since Enter is kinda not dead, I guess there's one Messiah card left and it has all the data or something. I don't know because I haven't seen the next episode yet. But so far, yeah, that's probably the only logical step. Because if not, all of that stuff that happened past then was completely and utterly useless because it's not going to be there for the finale. I I really just hope that the next few episodes, because Gobusters is coming to an end, that it picks up the ball and slam dunks it because they just dropped the ball here. They really just did. But until next time, y'all, peace.